Hello everyone, how are you all today? I hope you're doing well. So, I've had a lot of conversations about what's going to happen next season, about is Daniel Levy going to back Postecoglou, and a lot of it's been very negative. So, there's a lot of the things I've been hearing, especially in my comments at the moment. And before I start getting into that, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. I understand why you're so frustrated, and I'm frustrated for you because it is hard to go 20 odd years and only win one trophy, and expect to be positive season upon season. It's very hard to be positive, so I do understand you. But I just want to read through some of the comments I've been getting, and it's very negative about Daniel Levy's approach to Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou's approach to next season and the transfer market and the players that we're going to buy. So I'll just read a few to you now. So some of them are saying Daniel Levy don't invest in the team. He won't buy superstar players. We will sign unknown players from Italy, Germany, France, etc. We will sign players from mid-table teams and be fighting for top four again, at best. And just happy to not spend and is Daniel Levy's puppet. I'm telling you now, this narrative is the most incorrect information you could hear on YouTube or read on Twitter. Let me jump straight into the video and explain why spending massive amounts of money does not equal success 9 times out of 10. So, first of all, I'll give you an example of a team that has done that. Chelsea. Now, this ain't a secret. Chelsea have spent over £1 billion in the space of 18 months to 2 years, and they are below Spurs. So, did spending money on these big names get them anywhere? No, it hasn't done anything for them. Yeah, you may argue, yes, it did in the past. They were buying name after name after name and sacking big managers after big managers and winning things. But where's it got them in the end? They could now be in FFP trouble and they could be relegated for it. So yeah, they've got loads of trophies. What if they got stripped of those trophies? But at the end of the day, they've done it again. They've spent £1 billion and not gone any better than they are. So another one you can think of is Everton. Everton have spent a shed load of money and they're fighting relegation now. Yes, they've got points deduction but they'd still be around the bottom area. So they're not exactly pushing on for European football after spending all that money. So it still didn't work. Man United, to a degree, have spent a lot of money and they're below us as well. You can argue the fact that Arsenal spent 100 million on Rice, but again, they're in exactly the same position as last year. They didn't get up any higher. They haven't won the league yet. I doubt they will now. And if you think about it, we bought Van der Ven to fill a hole that we needed, left-sided centre back, and he's made just as good impact for us. So let me go on to an example now of you can sign. My biggest argument is you can buy good players from any country, from any league, from our own country, from mid-table teams, from championship level, and still be successful. I'm going to give you one example from, I think it was 2016, yeah? So I've wrote some notes down here. So it's 2016. So 2015-16. Yeah, Jamie Vardy signed for Leicester. Non-league Fleetwood for £1 million. Yeah? They also signed N'Golo Conte, who no one ever heard of, apart from in France, for 5.6 million from a team called Cayenne in France. Yeah? They also signed Riyad Mahrez, 450k from, I'm probably not going to say this right, but Le Havre from another team in France. 450k for Riyad Mahrez. Yeah? All three of these players, unheard of, joined Leicester City and in 2016 won the Premier League. I know that's an anomaly and I know that doesn't happen often, But you can find very, very good players that don't have to be already named superstars. No one knew who Van der Ven was, and now look how good he is. He's a brilliant player. You know, I didn't know who your doggy was, but I think he's a great player. I've never heard of Vicario before, and he's a great goalkeeper. Right. Let me just get into the next thing I want to talk about as well. So, yeah, let's decide it. So right, let's go through Tottenham's best players that they've ever had in the Premier League era, right? So Tottenham's best players in the Premier League era. You could argue, and this is my opinion, so you could tell me in the comments if you agree or not. Danny Rose was probably one of the best left backs we've had in the Premier League era, and that's my opinion. Yeah, we bought him for 1 million from Championship Leeds. 1 million from Championship Leeds, and he wasn't a superstar. He wasn't a big name. He was a very young lad, and look what he turned out to be. Yeah. Kyle Walker is arguably the best right back we've had in the Premier League era. 4 million from Sheffield United. Again, from a championship team, we bought a quality player. Let's go Dele Alli from a League One MK Dons for 5 mil. And Dele Alli, yes, he's had his problems now, but he was incredible when he was playing for us. I think in one season from midfield scored 18 Premier League goals and got like 10 assists or something. He was insane. He was a brilliant signing. And again, he wasn't a superstar. Let's go back a little bit further. Gareth Bale. We signed him when he hadn't even played 1 minute of Premier League football. We signed him for 7 million from Southampton and played him at left back at first. So another world-class signing that wasn't a big name turned out to be a fucking good signing. So, okay, another one. Luka Modric. Yeah? No one heard of him. We bought him when he was 22 years old from Dynamo Zagreb. Yeah? 16.5 million. So, all of our better players, right, let's go Moussa Dembele. Bought him from, they was fighting relegation at the time, Fulham. I don't know even if they was in the Premier League when we bought Mr. Dembele. I can't remember. But again, a mid-table to low table team, Fulham, we bought Moussa Dembele, arguably one of the best holding midfielders we've ever had. He was brilliant. And again, not a superstar. Like everyone keeps saying, we need to spend 300 million to sort this squad out. You don't. That's the thing. Let's look at even Arsenal. When they were their invincibles and all this sort of thing, they bought an unknown Patrick Vieira, who was at Milan, who was in the reserves for Milan, and Milan didn't want him, sold him for 3.5 million, and the rest is history. There's so many good players out there. We don't have to keep saying, let's buy Osherman for 200 million or something like that. When I guarantee you, there's a striker out there that's just as good as him, that would probably be, I don't know, 22 years old or something, and he's probably about 10, 15 million, and he'll turn out to be just as good as Osherman. Haaland came out of nowhere. He was a goal scoring machine, obviously, when he was younger, and then he just bang, he was the best striker in the world. Best finisher in the world, or with Harry Kane. Harry Kane, he came from our youth team, so we didn't spend any money at all. We just built up a good youth system to get Harry Kane through the door. And our youth system now is like blossoming with lots of quality players. And I guarantee at least 2 of them come through and they'll be worth 50, 60, 70 million when they start playing for us. Okay, another argument is, let's look at the players we did spend big money on then. Let's see if it does work, yeah? So we bought Lo Celso, 55.3 million, yeah? And as much as I love this player, he is a good player. He's just always injured. He never stays fit, and he hasn't took us up another level. He's just as good as the other players that we've already got. Davinson Sanchez, we bought him for 42 million. If anything, he made our defence worse. We had Toby and Jan, and then we went to Sanchez and Dyer. So we went backwards, trying to spend big money. Jan and Toby both put together were cheaper than Sanchez. Undombele. Do I have to say any more about this? 63 million. Did he improve our squad? Did he push us up levels? No. Richarlison. He's had a purple patch this season. Scored 10 goals. Wow. 60 million. Remember, Dele Alli was 5 million, scored 18 goals in one season. And I think he was only like 20 years old or something at the time. So it's not always we have to buy the next big thing, or we have to spend 300 million to keep up with City and Liverpool. Look, put it this way, where did Southampton buy Van Dijk from? Celtic. And everyone says that's a farmers league, but they bought one of the best defenders the Premier League's ever seen from Celtic. You can find brilliant players from anywhere in the world, and to keep saying that Tottenham are not trying to Tottenham are not trying to progress. They don't want to win things. Levy don't want to win. Ange just wants to let Levy not give him any money, and that'll be all right as long as we get top four. It's not the case. Ange Postecoglou wants to win. 100% he wants to win that Premier League. And he can fight. He's used to. He's at 26 years of not having money. He can find players around the world to help the level he's at to go to the top of that level. He's done it time and time again. Yes, I'm a very positive Tottenham fan, and I can see the positives in what they're doing. And yes, I can understand the frustrations, because I get frustrated, don't get me wrong. Like if we lose 4-0 to Newcastle, yes, I'm fuming, of course. But I also see other sides to the argument. I just think we all want the same thing. So when you comment on this video today, you're gonna have your opinion and you're gonna say Levy out, blah blah, and I understand it. So I'm not gonna argue with your opinion. Like you can't be wrong because it's an opinion. But as long as we all stick together and we all push this club to get to where it needs to be, because this is a big club. And now with the biggest stadium in the world and the biggest training facilities, the best training facilities, a really good youth setup now, phenomenal youth setup now. We've got some really good youngsters coming through. Our recruitment's improved. I think Ange Postecoglou is an elite manager, and he's got the mentality to win things, you know. And FFP now, we are top dogs now when it comes to we can buy players and spend money. So things are going in the right direction. Please be patient, and I promise you, things will get better. I've seen us when we were 15th in the league, finishing 15th and 14th in every season, and winning the odd trophy. It didn't make fans respect us anymore just because we won a League Cup or an FA Cup. They were just like, yeah, but you're fighting for relegation, so you're crap. That's what I used to get all the time. So winning trophies never changed that narrative. So don't think if we win an FA Cup next season that everyone's going to stop saying that you're bottlers and that, because they won't. Unless you start winning Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, no one takes you seriously. And that's why no one takes Arsenal seriously, because they never win Champions Leagues and they hardly ever win leagues. So that said, hopefully I can have a good chat with you all in the comments, and come on, you Spurs!